Welcome back to the R&B Lady Sports Talk.
I'm Pamela Ross.
And I'm Yolanda Bridges. And together we're going to talk about our favorite sports moment that's been happening this past week.
Let's start off with the WNBA. There are 2 games into the finals. And just tell me what you think is going on with that series right now.
All right, so we have the LA Sparks and the Minnesota Lynx. Both of these teams are evenly matched, so I've been expecting some good basketball, and I haven't been disappointed yet. I'm going to talk a little bit about game one. There was at least 10 lead changes in that game. There was never any more than a 4-point deficit on either side. So that game was a lot of back and forth. It was super exciting to watch. I'll fast forward to the second half. In the first half, they were able to hold Maya Moore scoreless. She had no points. She came back into the second half on fire, and I don't know what happened, but she turned it completely around. So much so that she wanted the ball in her hands when the game was on the line. They were down by 2 late in the fourth quarter. She went up and hit her layup, tied the game 76-all. And just when you thought that Minnesota had the advantage and they had the momentum, man, LA Sparks had the last possession of the game, and Elena Beard was able to get the shot off at the buzzer. So LA was able to beat Minnesota in game one.
Listen, that was a phenomenal game or whatever. Great buzzer beater win. Maya Moore with 18 points, Sylvia Fowles with 18 points, and Lizzie Whalen with 18 points and win game one, and they were not able to pull out that win. So congratulations to the LA Sparks for the win on game number 1.
That's right. And then game number 2 was just played last night. And again, it was very exciting to watch. Now, I don't know what Minnesota's coach told them girls when they were in the locker room, but whatever it was, she told them, she got them fired up. The crowd was fired up. I really think that Minnesota understood the importance of winning this second game. The next 2 games are going to be played in LA. So just to give you a little bit of what happened here in the second half, LA found themselves down by 17 points. But they refused to give up. They went on a 14-0 run. Well, Minnesota was like, well, we got a run of our own. So then they came back with an 8-0 run. Minnesota maintained the lead for the most part the entire game. They never let it go, and they were able to get that win 79-60. It was still an exciting game to watch, though.
Well, that was an important win for them. You know, playing at home, you definitely don't want to go into LA down 2 games to 0. They held Candace Parker to only 6 points in that game, and Guamaku to 14 points. So great win for the Minnesota Lynx. The series is tied 1-1. We'll see them in game 3 in LA, and we look forward to another phenomenal game.
That's right. Now, before we head over to the NFL, I do want to bring to your attention, Pam, I don't know if you know about this or not, but the WNBA changed a little bit of things of how they get into the playoffs this year. And I find it rather interesting. So instead of having the 4 divisions or the 2 divisions, East and West, or East and West, North and South, they decided to take the top 8 teams that played the best during the year. So if your record was good, you got into the playoffs. None of this, well, my record was good in this part of the conference, now I get to get in. You know, I kind of wish that the other sports, men's sports, if you will, would take that into consideration, especially football, because I get confused every year. I don't understand how you got teams coming into the playoffs barely getting over 500, and then you have a team opposite in this other conference got a phenomenal record, you know, maybe only have 3 or 4 losses, and they can't get into the playoffs. So I kind of wish that, you know, these other sports would take a page from the WNBA, what they've done this year. I think that's a really excellent idea, and I hope that somebody out there is watching.
Hey, you know, that would be awesome to see, or whatever, all the best teams beating up on each other. But I kind of like that, you know, feel of the underdog getting in every year. So I'm not sure how I quite feel about it, but we'll see. Things change from year to year. They always change the rules and regulations. So we'll see where they go with that. But again, I'm okay with the underdogs because I kind of like that, you know, feel of the low man on the totem pole getting their chance to show off one more time of the season.
I can see that. I can see that. All right. So since we're already in the NFL, look at here. The Vikings is the only team that is left undefeated. They played the Texans. They got the win, and they are 5-0 right now, looking pretty good.
Hey, the only undefeated team left. That's correct. Denver Broncos was one of the undefeated teams that went into Sunday undefeated, and they took a loss at home by the Atlanta Falcons that looked phenomenal in that game. Their defense was superb. Their offense got the job done. So kudos to the Minnesota Vikings for being the only undefeated team left in the NFL. We'll see where they end up in the playoffs.
Wow, there's like seven
Maybe
or
one of
eight
those
teams.
teams that's left on the ledge after it's all said and done.
Who's that?
We'll the Minnesota Vikings. I said, will they be one of those teams that maybe take a loss during the season and be on the ledge and have to play in the wild cards? We'll see. We'll see.
I have no idea what's about to happen. There's about seven or eight teams right now that only has one loss. So it's anybody's football season this year. I mean, it could go either way. You can't honestly predict right now who is going to end up on Super Bowl Sunday. Hard to
I
say.
think it's early in the season to predict anybody being in the Super Bowl right now. We're lucky to be able to make a prediction for the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl. So early in the season,
Hmm.
lots of football left to play or whatever. We'll see. We will see where the teams end up. But it's been some good football. It's been some great football um, up to now.
Well, let's talk about some great football. Again, my game of the week is definitely going to be the Raiders Chargers game. I tried to watch a little bit of the Cowboys game, but I went ahead and snuck on over to watch that Raiders game just because I was curious again to see what type of energy they were going to have. Well, Pam, they didn't disappoint me either. They came out charged up. The fans were charged up. They were trying to get that win. They did find themselves down in the first half. So I would just like to talk just a little bit about what happened in the second half of this football game. So start off in the second half, San Diego scores the touchdown. All right, then the Raiders say, all right, we can score a touchdown too. So they score. Then San Diego scores. Then the Raiders score. Pam, you know it's high-powered offense right here. They going
Back and
back and
forth,
forth,
back
back
and
and forth,
forth.
back and forth. So somewhere around there, the Raiders end up scoring a field goal. Score ends up to be 19-24. The Raiders are down. All right. On the next drive, San Diego fumbles. And after several plays, Carr meets up with Crabtree again and connects for that touchdown. So again, very exciting. So now the Chargers, Pam, goes to punt the ball. The ball only goes 20 or 30 yards. I thought one of my kids kicked that football. I didn't quite understand what happened. But whatever, it sets up the Raiders in the red zone, so they end up scoring. So now the score is 20-30. All right. So after a couple of more scoring series, the Chargers, they just don't want to go away. I think the Raiders end up on top, but Chargers are saying no, 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 no. Okay, we're gonna stay in this. So they end up scoring. All right. So what happens? The score is now 34-31. The Raiders only down by a field goal. All right, so the Chargers come in, they handle their business, they get down there. What happens? Remember all that kicker, punter, all that stuff? I don't know
Yeah.
what's up with the special teams and this kicking stuff, but the snap goes to the holder. It goes through the holder's hands, and the Raiders recover it. They go on to win. It's a win, 34-31. So I'm like, okay, they got me excited now. So I'm gonna keep watching them to see what ends up happening. Maybe they'll be one of those teams that we see in postseason.
Maybe so. We'll see. But congratulations to the Raiders for getting their first home win. They've gotten all their wins actually this year on the road. So congratulations for your first home win. Sounds like a phenomenal, exciting, explosive game. And we look forward to seeing what you bring us in the weeks coming up.
That's right. So Pam, you got any good football games?
I don't know about football games being good. There's so much as shenanigans.
You
We
got some
got that whole
shenanigans. All
yeah,
right. What kind of
shenanigans.
shenanigans you got
Shenanigans.
this
We
week
got
in the
the whole
NFL?
Tony Romo, Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones. Yeah, we've like I know everybody's tired of hearing it. We're tired of talking about it, but Jerry Jones insists that Tony Romo will be back and he is the starting quarterback for that team. But we all know we can't take Jerry Jones for his word. And why
Mm-mm.
is that?
That's because when I was younger, And Terrell Owens was playing. Jerry Jones one year came on saying a whole lot of nice things about Terrell Owens. And you know what happened the next day?
Unemployed. Right. So,
Gone.
right. So, hey, Jerry Jones, we don't know what's going on with you or whatever. We like Dak Prescott. We like the numbers he's putting up. We like the offense that he's playing with, along with Ezekiel Elliott. I think he is your present and your future. Keep him there. Go Dak. Moving right along to more shenanigans of the week, we had a big rivalry game with Baltimore and the Ravens and the Washington Redskins.
Right.
One of those rivalry games, back and forth. Who's going to, take it down to the wire? Who's going to win that game? Well, the Redskins pulled off the win, but that's not the shenanigans. That's not the shenanigans. That's not the shenanigans. The shenanigans is that Baltimore finally got tired of the terrible offensive players that their offensive coordinator was calling, and they axed him this week. So, yeah. So sorry for you. Good luck in the job search ahead. Shenanigans. You got to bring it every week or you're going to be out the door. And out the door he is.
Well, I got some shenanigans of my own. I always do.
What shenanigans do you have? What's going on?
Just to give the world out there just a little bit of my own background, and I'm not ashamed to say this because it's okay. I had to get my start from somewhere. But when I was young, my younger years, I would only pick my winning teams off of their uniforms, Pam. If they had the prettiest, the brightest, the colorful most uniform, that's who's going to win the game. Well, so I have a problem. You got Pittsburgh Steelers with this black and yellow stripe. I know it's part of the past, but I don't understand what's going on.
The bumblebee.
No, not a good look. It's a wardrobe malfunction. They need to change it. And speaking of wardrobe malfunctions, the 49ers need help too. That looked like a high school uniform at best. Don't ever put that uniform on again. It was black with red letters. I don't understand what's going on. I don't like it. Don't do it.
I don't have any connections in the wardrobe area, but I'll see what I can work out for you. I'll see what I can work out for you in the future. We'll keep those bumblebee uniforms off the field and those college black and red letter uniforms for the 49ers off the field. But I just have to say that I'm glad that you're past that bedazzled, pretty uniform look. Yeah, no, it's not cute. We're talking sports, lady. Let's get with it.
Okay. Well, moving right along. So we got right along football. And speaking of somebody getting memos, I know somebody that did not get your memo, and that would be Tennessee. Last week you talked about how they just keep game after game coming out with the slow starts, and they came out with an ugly slow start to that A&M game. But before I hand it over to you, let me just say just a little bit. So Tennessee comes out slow. Texas A&M's on fire. What happens in the fourth quarter? Tennessee catches up and ties up the game. We'll just start right there. So 41 seconds left on the clock. All my man needs to do is kick a field goal. All he needs to do is kick a 38-yard field goal at that. Now, here's the thing. I did a little research on Daniel Cameron. In college, in high school, he kicked a 68-yard field goal. I saw with my own eyes. Now, it was practice.
Wait. We're not going to take it back. We're not going to take it back to high school and what they did, because we all know the kickers, when they're warming up, they can kick those 68, 65, 70-yard field goals, and they all talk about them at halftime and after the games when they've missed a 28 or 35-yard field goal or whatever, and we have to hear about how in warm-ups don't count. We need you to produce when the clock is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Clock is ticking. We need you to kick the ball through the uprights. So, what happened?
Am I frozen? Well, that's what happened.
No, you're not.
All right, so he ends up missing that field goal. But my man redeems himself in overtime. I think Tennessee got the ball first. They scored a field goal. Texas A&M got the ball second. They scored a field goal. They did make sure that he was lined up. And there was no wide angles. All right, so he did redeem
Let's make
himself.
it possible for these kickers because it's a tendency this year of them to not be able to get the ball through the uprights. That was a sloppy game for Tennessee. Typical game for Tennessee. They come out slow every week, as you've said, or whatever. They didn't start playing until the second half. Turnovers killed them. 7 turnovers will never, ever, 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 ever. Am I still on the screen? I'm sorry. I'm coming back. That will never win you a game. It'll never win you a game. 7 turnovers is way too much. SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, AAC, the teams that I don't even know which conference they're in. You can't win a game with 7 turnovers. You just can't. I'm sorry. So kudos to Texas A&M for getting that win or whatever. Very sloppy play for Tennessee. I'm glad that they were able to catch up and make it a game in the fourth quarter and take it to 2 overtimes. But they will have to be more consistent, start off playing a full game, first quarter to fourth quarter, if they want to get wins in the future, or they're going to just continue down this path. So speaking of, I'm just going to keep it rolling. Speaking of, team and not playing a solid game, I'm going to go right into the upset game of the week, and we have Houston at Navy. Turnovers. Now, everybody remember, if you don't remember, I'm going to give you a little quick recap. Houston beat Oklahoma in, I do believe, week number 1. Now, Oklahoma was ranked number 3, so everybody is on Houston bandwagon. Oh, Houston needs a chance to play in the championship. They need they need to be in the championship. If you run the season, if you run the table and you win all your games, you will be playing in the national championships at the end of the season. Didn't happen. I believe Houston went in with, that over arrogant confidence that, we're just playing Navy or whatever. Everybody says we're a great team because we beat Oklahoma. Now, you haven't had any more significant wins since then, but we'll give you that win, albeit I thought that Oklahoma was overranked from the jump, but hey, I digress. Houston went into that game, 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. Navy dominated that game, defense start to finish. Houston tried to pull back into it in the fourth quarter, but Navy held their own and got that win or whatever over a top 10 team. So I give all the credit to Navy. Houston, they're a good team. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm not going to say that they're a great team. I'm not going to ever say that they're a championship team because I really don't foresee them ever getting to that level, but I'll give you good team status. So great win to the Navy. They actually got an extra day off for that win. They were out of school on Monday for Columbus Day, and the dean, hey, listen, we'll take days off the way we can get them. Don't be scrunching up your eyes and don't be mad about it. I'll take that day off. Go midshipman. I'm trying to get in on how I can get an extra day off because one of my teams won a football game. So they knocked off the number 6 team. Unfortunately, Houston's championship playoff run is over for this year. We'll see where they come in at next year. Another quick little shenanigans game of this past weekend, and I'll hit on it real quick, was at Miami, Florida State. Everybody knows that's a huge ACC championship matchup with them every year. It's always a knockdown, drag out to the end fight, and that's precisely what this game was as well. They went down to the last 2 minutes of the game. Miami rallied in the fourth, got down, scored. They needed the extra point to tie the game and perhaps either take it to overtime, and no, it didn't happen. Florida State came up with a huge block extra point, ended up with the ball back, ran the clock out, and they got that win over a number 10 Miami team. So congratulations to Florida State for a win over another top 10 team of the week. We already talked about my game of the week, which was Tennessee and Texas A&M, which I'm sure most people would think it was Alabama and Arkansas. And don't fret, I will, and I am gonna. Oh yeah, we will talk about Alabama and Arkansas. Alabama is still, say it with me, number 1. One. No? Okay. Well, you may not be excited, but I'm excited. Alabama went into Arkansas, whatever. That was one of our 4 games that's coming up. Tough games for us or whatever, and they didn't disappoint. They played a sloppy game. I will say that. No. I can't be interrupted during this moment. I'm sorry. You need to call a timeout. But timeouts aren't allowed right now. Sorry. No, no timeouts. No, none of that. Alabama played Arkansas. The defense dominated. Dominated. Say it with me. Okay. Hey, they've scored what I believe 10 touchdowns now, which is practically unheard of for a defense to score that many touchdowns. And we're only into week number 6 of the season. I am so excited what our defense is doing. Offense, tad bit sloppy for me, 3 turnovers, but our defense and special teams stepped it up. So, hey, we're still number 1. And that's all I got to say. That's all I got. That's all I got. What you got? What you got? What you got for me?
Are you done?
For the moment.
Well, there you have it, folks. We're just a couple of ladies offering our opinions on how we feel that things should be. Hope you enjoy us next time for the R&B Ladies Sports Talk, where you don't have to be a man to be a fan. Before we go, we'd just like to remind everybody that it is October, Breast Cancer Awareness. Think pink.
Think pink, ladies and gentlemen. Please take care of yourselves. Get yourselves checked. Get your daughters, your moms, your sisters. Encourage them to know their bodies. Get their mammograms. Get their ultrasounds. Talk to their doctors. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be afraid of it. Early detection is the key. I am a survivor, almost 4 years now. So think pink, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Until next time.